Mr. Kobayashi opened the door. Inside was Midori. Her body was folded up and carelessly shoved inside like a puppet. Her eyes were wide open as if she was shocked to see us, but those eyes were completely still. Midori. I heard Toshio muttering. Mr. Kobayashi frantically took her hand to check for her pulse. In the end, he turned to us and silently shook his head. Why? Why would... Toshio's lips were quivering. God damn it, why would they? Damn it, why did they? Toshio shouted like he had gone insane. Then he clung onto Midori's body and sobbed. Midori had been beaten to death. Her head was split open and there was so much blood stuck in her long hair. That's horrible. Mari grabbed my arm and her fingers dug in so hard that it hurt. She was grimacing and tears of fear and sadness filled her eyes. Toshio grabbed his mop from the floor and stood up. Get out of here, you murdering scumbag, show yourself! Shouting so loudly that I thought he'd tear his throat, he ran down the hallway and banged on the walls and doors. Toshio, stop! Toshio shook off Mr. Kobayashi as he tried to stop him and became more violent. Kanako stuck her head out from a door when she heard the commotion, but when she saw the crazed, raging Toshio, she shut the door right then and there. Midori, Toshio suddenly stopped in his tracks, knelt in the center of the hallway and started sobbing. The victims so far, Mr. Tanaka and Mr. Mikimoto, were people we barely met. They were not close to any of us, so somewhere in our hearts we all must have thought this had nothing to do with us in particular. But Midori was different. She was close friends with the Kobayashis and Toshio from work. From Toshio's point of view, maybe he felt something much more than friendship. The dismembered corpse brought out our fear and unease, but Midori's body instead brought out anger and sadness, at least as much anger and sadness to rival our fear and unease. Mori, what is it? Please convince Kanako, Kaiko, and Aki to come out of their room. I'll check on Mr. Mikimoto. Without waiting for her reply, I opened the door to his room. His head wrapped in bandages, Mr. Mikimoto was lying on the bed. He almost looked dead with his shut eyes and pale skin. Mr. Mikimoto. Oh, yes? He groaned and opened his eyes when I spoke, perhaps because he was sleeping. I think we are safest if we are all together. If you can, I'd like you to come downstairs. Can you walk? Oh, ow. It looked hard for him to get up. Give me your shoulder. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Mikimoto got off the bed and stood up. I think I can make it. Staggering, he started to walk. Everyone was waiting by the time we left the room. Kanako, Kaiko, and Aki were already out in the hallway. I signaled to everyone with my eyes, let's go to the lounge for now. As we were about to walk down the stairs, Mr. Kobayashi helped me carry Mr. Mikimoto. Thank you. When I lightly thanked him, Mr. Kobayashi looked to the end of the hallway and said, we'd better leave them and be for a while. Toshio was kneeling next to Midori on the floor there. Well, everyone, let's head downstairs. At my signal, everyone started to move. Mr. Kobayashi, Mr. Mikimoto, and I went ahead first. Following us were Mori, the three girls, the Kayamas, and finally Mrs. Kobayashi. Everyone slowly went down the stairs. So, I'm starting to think Mr. Mikimoto hit himself in the head to make it look like he was injured. And he has everyone fooled. He's killed them all. I think it's him. He was the only one upstairs with Midori, wasn't he? At one point. Only 5 minutes had passed. Everyone was silent. Before long, we saw Toshio on the stairs. He was not crying anymore, but his eyes were bright red. Hanging over his back was Midori's head. Toshio slowly and firmly stepped down the stairs. Everyone watched silently. Nobody said a word. Nobody tried to lend him a hand. No, nobody could. Something about the atmosphere in the room made us hesitate to help. Toshio got to the bottom of the stairs, silently passed by us, and disappeared into the back of the hallway. Was he going to return Midori to her room? Even after Toshio was gone, nobody said anything. Dang. Toshio returned to the lounge faster than we thought he would. His face had a look of what seemed to be some kind of determination. So now, I gently cleared my throat and looked at everyone's faces. So now all of us are here. Everyone gently nodded. From now on, please do not go anywhere by yourself, and if you can, only use the downstairs bathroom. When you want to return to your room, I want you all to go with at least one other person. Frightened, Kaiko asked, "Excuse me? What in the world happened?" It looked like she still hadn't heard anything. Someone had just attacked Midori earlier and... I couldn't finish my sentence, but my facial expression must have given it away because the three girls gasped. As usual, Aki started to cry. It was like the three of them were trying to stay closer than ever, but as far away from everyone else as they could. Mr. Mikimoto's mouth was wide open. Why in the world, you don't mean she went outside alone? It looked like somehow she didn't know what had happened. No, she was inside, but... See, he's playing dumb. He's playing like he doesn't know. But I think he knows. We want to go back to our room. We don't want to be here, Kanako screamed hysterically. No, we need to stay together. Why? We had nothing to do with it. Leave us alone. She must be thinking they were safest and the three of them shut themselves off from everyone else. You can't say that. I don't want to say this either, but I have no choice. The only ones upstairs when Midori was killed were the three of you and Mr. Mikimoto. What? Do you mean... Kanako looked surprised. That is to say, I think that it is possible the three of you killed Midori. The three girls and Mr. Mikimoto weren't the only ones who looked surprised. What are you talking about, Toru? You think these girls could have killed her? Mari's criticizing tone pierced my heart, but I kept going. It may be difficult for one person to kill her. For two people, they may be afraid of being caught. But if three people cooperated, Startled, everyone looked at the three girls. You can't be serious. Why would the three of us... You're awful. Flustered from Kaiko's hurt expression, I explained myself. Please wait a moment. I only said it was possible you did that. As I had said earlier, Mr. Mikimoto also had the opportunity to kill Midori. Mr. Mikimoto looked exhausted when I said that. Wasn't I sedated until you came into my room? Look at that. He's answering it just fine right here. He answered that just fine. Besides, I can't even walk with this throbbing headache I have. See, that sentence was clearly said. He didn't have any struggle saying that. But I said that may be all an act. Oh! He knows. He's thinking the way I'm thinking. Please don't argue with me. I only want to say that... Oh, this is still his quote. But I said... Okay, that may be all an act. Please don't argue with me. I only want to say that we should all stay together to prevent any more casualties. One of us may be a killer. They might be hiding somewhere in the lodge. Perhaps they are waiting in this blizzard to see how things turn out. Still thinking of possibilities, I kept on talking. In any case, if we all stay together, the killer won't be able to interfere. Or at least it should make it harder for them to interfere. Everyone fell silent. We were all pointing our heads down and looking at each other, almost spying on others' behavior. I believed I hadn't said anything wrong per se, but my words ended up making us doubt each other. Was what I said uncalled for? I had said that either those three girls or Mr. Mikimoto had killed Midori, but the real question here was, could they have? The possibility wasn't zero. Everyone was in the lounge when the glass shattered, so neither Mr. Mikimoto nor the three girls had the opportunity to kill Mr. Tanaka. Moreover, beyond not having that opportunity, there was just no time to dismember the body like that. So Mr. Mikimoto and those three girls couldn't have killed Mr. Tanaka. However, just because they didn't kill him did not mean they did not kill Midori. But my common sense said there was no sensible reason for a total stranger to kill Midori. All I could think of was, oh, I remembered what Mr. Kobayashi had said. Mr. Kobayashi, you were saying Midori had wanted to see Mr. Tanaka's room, right? Can you remember precisely what she was saying? Being suddenly talked to, he was blinking repeatedly. Yes, I was sure. She said, something is bothering me, so... No, she said, I've thought of something, so I'd like to check Mr. Tanaka's room. I'm sure she said that. She thought of something. Just was that? Check Mr. Tanaka's room. Saying it that way naturally meant there should be something related to the case. Did she realize something there, like the killer's identity? Or did they kill her when she cross-examined them or when they found her investigating? Those all felt like the most natural reasons. Of course, other explanations were possible. For example, the Kobayashis and Toshio, who knew Midori well, actually having a grudge against her. That wasn't out of the realm of possibility, but for now I should consider that they killed Midori to keep her quiet about who killed Mr. Tanaka. Of us, only Toshio could have killed Mr. Tanaka, but Toshio did not have the chance to kill Midori. Only Mr. Mikimoto or the three girls could have killed Midori. However, they couldn't have killed Mr. Tanaka. He's confusing himself to hell. Mori anxiously asked me, "What have you been muttering about this whole time?" Huh? Oh, no, I'm trying to make sense of the case, so then... I'm really confused. I don't know what's going on. That's not true. The murderer is not one of us. We're just restless from such gruesome murders happening so close to us. We should be thinking about how to protect ourselves. When Mori said that, Mrs. Kobayashi and Mrs. Koyama both nodded. Rare for her, Mrs. Koyama spoke up. That's right. Nothing good will come out of us doubting each other. We need to trust each other. Then Mr. Koyama spoke up to scold his wife. Haruko, don't whitewash the situation we're in. Like Toru said, we must consider all possibilities because we may not survive until morning if we don't. But dear, no ifs or buts. At times like this, a woman should stay quiet and listen to what men say. This motherfucker. Excuse my language, I just had to. I had to say it there. Did Mr. Koyama usually keep his wife quiet like this? Or did he just pretend to be a domineering husband with others around? Probably pretending to seem macho. Even though I am not very close to many of you, I don't want to believe any of you are murderers. But this lodge isn't that big of a building. After I said that, I glanced at Mr. Kobayashi to see if he was offended. But he didn't seem particularly worried. What I meant with that was, this isn't a huge hotel with blind spots where nobody can keep an eye on what happens. Also, all the doors and windows are shut tight. Could even a professional thief freely come and go without anyone noticing? Frankly speaking, I don't know what to believe. An elusive murderer somewhere in the spur, or someone who looks innocent but is actually a murderer. I don't know. I shook my head as I said that. You're speaking as if only you are innocent. Toshio almost spat that out at me. What do you mean? I meant what I said. Even you are a suspect. Oh. But have I been upstairs any more than once since dinner? I couldn't have killed Mr. Tanaka. Same with Midori. I haven't seen you with my own eyes. Maybe you're only saying all that. Your girlfriend's testimony is worthless and undependable. Oh. If you believe that, can I say the same of you, Toshio? Offended, I got angry. Weren't you the one who attacked Mr. Mikimoto? He did not see the killer. In other words, wouldn't you be the most suspicious for whoever was behind him? Your theory is flawed. Mr. Kobayashi You reached Mr. Mikimoto collapsed in the snow before me, didn't you? Oh, yes, I think that's right. Looking troubled, Mr. Kobayashi replied vaguely. It was Toshio who was walking with Mr. Mikimoto. Naturally, I thought Toshio had more opportunities to attack him. So was Mr. Kobayashi more suspicious now? Mr. Mikimoto was looking at both him and Toshio, almost spying on them. Stop, please stop already. Mrs. Kobayashi screamed and broke down crying. Stop slinging mud at each other. Mr. Kobayashi and Toshio both looked regretful. I was sure I looked the same. I couldn't bear seeing Mari's scornful gaze. The cuckoo clock rang out. Before we knew it, it was 11:30. There was still no sign that this blizzard would die down. Mr. Koyama suddenly shouted, "Oh, the news, I forgot to see the news." "Dear, do you really have to watch it now? Don't you want to see the weather forecast? Besides, a change of mood would be nice." Fine, maybe he was right. Without waiting for anyone to reply, Mr. Koyama grabbed the remote and turned the TV on. He flipped through the channels and stopped on a news headline. Heavy snow continues to fall across Japan. Despite continued reports of damage from traffic accidents and avalanches in various places, it seems there have been no casualties. No casualties? With those words, we naturally looked upstairs. Some new suspicions have come up again of the business world having a cultural financial influence for some time now. Next, this just in, we bring you news of a bank robber on the run. The whereabouts of someone who stole around 200 million yen in cash after breaking into the Shinjuku branch of the Mitsutomo Bank in broad daylight yesterday are still unknown. Based on eyewitness accounts, the culprit is a thin man about 165 centimeters tall. Police have set up checkpoints in the area and continue to search for a black coupe believed to be the getaway vehicle. Come to think of it, I'd heard that news on the radio when I was first driving here. I mostly hadn't seen the papers or watched TV after that, so I didn't know the culprit was still at large. Ooh? Mr. Koyama snorted and said, "If it's already been one day, those checkpoints may as well not be there. By now they could have already escaped to somewhere like Southeast Asia." Maybe he was intentionally saying that to try to make us relax. Maybe the Yakuza, Mr. Tanaka, was the bank robber. And maybe somebody else, Mr. Mikimoto, has a cell phone. He has money. So maybe he knows him and was like, "Give me that money." I think somebody knows. I think there might be a relation from that bank robbery. I jumped at the chance. With 200 million yen in cash, I don't think they could get on a plane. I don't know about that. That much money wouldn't be difficult to carry if they used new bills. A suitcase would be big enough. Oh, he knows too much. But Mari joined in on our conversation. I'm starting to get tongue-tied from talking so much and being up late. Even if they could bring it somewhere, they couldn't use any of it overseas, right? If they went to a bank or such, they'd be immediately caught because of the bill's serial numbers. That's what an amateur would think. Isn't the yen quite strong these days? There are countries that would gladly take it over the dollar, or gangs that would trade it on the black market. If it was up to me, Toshio joined in too. Maybe the subject had got his mind off what happened earlier. If it was up to me, I'd want to stay in Japan. After all, if you escaped from Japan, wouldn't you want to relax in a country where it's cheap to live? If you stayed in Japan, you'd need the money. I'd wait for a while in a rural town until things calmed down. I thought there might be some truth to that, but Mr. Koyama shook his head. We're getting really sidetracked now. No. People in the sticks would immediately know when others come and go. If you stayed in Japan, you'd be better off in a city. But isn't it human nature to want to get far away from the scene of the crime? And that's why they all get caught. Criminals usually don't have the guts to stick around after doing it. Oh, he's ratting himself out. It was like he was saying that. It was like he was saying they should have the guts to not escape. That was probably really loud. Mari muttered, if they went to a tourist attraction, there'd be many outsiders coming and going. If they wanted a thriving business, they should go to a ski resort in the middle of winter. He just gave himself away. Mr. Koyama's words surprised us all. Huh? What's wrong? Why the strange looks? What if... No, I'm overthinking things. I hesitated to say it. Mr. Kuriyama asked, "What is it?" "No, it's nothing." "Finish what you were going to say or I'll feel creeped out." I looked around at everyone. I could tell from their expressions that several others thought the same thing. "Alright, I'll say it, but please don't laugh. What if that body upstairs, Mr. Tanaka, was that bank robber on the run?" Nobody laughed. Reassured, I asked Mr. Kobayashi, "About how tall was Mr. Tanaka?" He thought for a moment and said, "I think he was fairly tall, at least 175 centimeters. No, too much of a difference. The news said the bank robber was about 165. But there sure was something strange about him. He had a huge ski bag, but it didn't feel like he came here to ski." "Wait a moment," Mari spoke up. "Normally, if you were to rob a bank, wouldn't you at least need a getaway driver? What if Mr. Tanaka was the driver who was killed by his accomplice after a falling out with them?" "Yeah, that sounds possible. Their killer could be that thin man who was 165. Just then, we were all looking at each other's bodies. Mr. Koyama certainly didn't fit. Mr. Mikimoto and Toshio were too tall. The closest was Mr. Kobayashi. He was thin, about 165. When Mr. Kobayashi noticed I was staring at him, he smiled stiffly. "Hey, come on, cut it out with the jokes. It's absurd to link our situation with what you just happened to see on the news." Right. Besides, Yoru here couldn't have robbed a bank in Tokyo. He works here every day." Mr. Koyama stated the obvious. It couldn't have been Mr. Kobayashi. It was hasty from the outset to think our victim here was the bank robber. I had no choice but to say it, since Mr. Koyama said he'd feel creeped out if I didn't. No way any of us were taking it seriously, but Mari kept talking. "But we did get something out of this line of thought." "What do you mean?" "That man, Mr. Tanaka, didn't seem like he'd come here to ski. There must have been some suspicious reason for him to come to a place like this and avoid attention. We had been thinking that ever since we found that body. It was so bizarre that we wanted to believe it was so far removed from our everyday lives. Neither the killer nor the victim were normal people like us. The victim must have lived on a back road or something. Was the psychology of wanting to believe that at play here? But actually, what sane person would try to dismember the body like that? I'm the kind of person who would look away just from seeing a scene of an injection on TV. I would refuse to dismember a body no matter how much money was on the line. Even then, what kind of reason would... Huh? I suddenly pondered something. Was there a reason that the killer had to dismember Mr. Tanaka's body? If there was it to hide their identity? Was it to carry the body somewhere? Was it a grudge? Was it to carry the body somewhere? This normally would be the best reason, but this logic seemed to not apply this time because he was killed in his own room. But something bothered me. Many doubts started to swirl in my head and take a mysterious shape. Trying but failing to grasp it, I became impatient. We just came here to ski. This time Kanako, Kaiko, and Aki started to cry again. "We want to go home. We never did anything bad. We want to go home." No, they were no longer simply crying, but sobbing. Mrs. Kobayashi started walking unsteadily. Surprised, her husband asked, "Where are you going?" "Something to calm us down. If we drink something like cocoa. Cocoa. "No, you might be the murderer and put something in our drink, so I won't drink it," Aki was screaming hoarsely. But Mrs. Kobayashi showed me no sign that Aki had hurt her feelings. Mrs. Kobayashi can't be the killer. Even if she was, hasn't she served you lots of food and drinks tonight? If she did want to kill everyone, we'd all be dead by now. I spoke as calmly as I could to try to calm down the three girls. That's right. Uturu's words ring true. Right, Kyoko would never do something like that. The Kiyamas agreed with me. Very well. Aki came to reluctantly agree with me. Then I will go with her. Mari stood up. I have good reflexes, so I'll go with you, in case someone attacks us. I couldn't do anything about her not letting her aunt go alone, but I was a little anxious. If anything unusual happens, just scream loudly. When I said that, Mari nodded and weakly smiled. Yeah, then come to my rescue on a horse. A white horse. Nobody laughed, but I felt a little less tense. When Mari and her aunt went to the kitchen, there was an eerie silence in the air for a while. Toshio muttered, "All we can do now is wait like this until morning." I nodded. That's for the best. If the killer wasn't one of us, then that scumbag is like an elusive magician, able to freely come and go through the lodge without anyone noticing. Could we sleep in peace, even if we shut ourselves in our rooms alone and locked the doors? I sure couldn't. But try to think about it. If they were going to kill us all, do you think they'd go about it this slowly? If it was up to me, I'd kill as many people as I could once everyone let their guard down. Toshio certainly had a good point. This could also be possible. There hasn't been like a multiple choice in so long. It's been a really long time. Mr. Mikimoto said that, holding his head in pain, their goal is to make those of us left taste fear. I asked back, their goal is to make us taste fear? What do you mean? I meant the killer is not satisfied with only killing us and harbors a major grudge against some or all of us. So like a cat tormenting a mouse, they will kill us in the very end after frightening us. That's what I meant. Kill us after frightening us? If that was true, just how bad of a grudge was that? Did one of us do something to warrant that grudge? Then, they have no connection here besides whoever they resent. Kaiko asked Mr. Mikimoto with a look of dependence. Perhaps so. I was hit on the head, but mysteriously I felt no murderous intent. Of course, they may not have been able to ensure I was dead because other people came outside. They may not be planning to kill innocent people. Stop messing around. Midori, just look at what happened to her. The killer's already killed an innocent person. Toshio shouted, laying his anger bare. How do you know that she was innocent? When Mr. Mikimoto quietly asked that back, Toshio's face became bright red and he shouted even louder. I meant what I said. Midori was... He was choking up. I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to speak badly of her. However, when I considered everything, I felt like they only killed her once they knew they couldn't let her live. That bastard. What was their motive for having to kill Midori? After Mr. Mikimoto spoke, it looked like Toshio's anger turned to sadness. He had dried his tears only to cry once again. Kanako, Kaikoaki, and Mrs. Kayama were all crying as well, out of either sympathy or fear. Did Toshio love Midori? I didn't know for sure since I didn't know them well. That's right, maybe that was all an act. Whoa, the screen is shaking. Maybe he killed her only pretended to love her so we wouldn't doubt him. I felt sincerely tired of myself for thinking of things like that. Why do I have to keep doubting everyone like this? Can I not even honestly sympathize with someone who lost the one they loved? But it was all because we don't know the killer's identity. Were they some total stranger? Or were they one of us? Not knowing that, one thing left us totally helpless. Come to think of it, part of what Mr. Mikimoto said earlier weighed on my mind. I felt like they only killed her once they knew they couldn't let her live. Since they couldn't let Midori live, they killed her. I should have thought of that earlier. Why was Midori killed? Did she see something? Did she accidentally come across Mr. Tanaka's killer? I suddenly realized what I should have done from the very beginning. Thoroughly searched Mr. Tanaka's room. Midori said she would go there and was killed. There should be a clue in that room. If I could, I'd want to thoroughly check it by myself. But it would look bad for me to do that since I'd already told everyone to not go anywhere alone. Of course, I knew it was dangerous to be alone. However, it would be even more dangerous to go with someone who may be the killer themselves. Then who should I go with? The answer immediately came to me. Mari. I can investigate in peace if she came with me. Alright, here we go. Is Mari the killer? Finally, she and her aunt came back, carrying trays with many cups. Thank you for waiting. Mari said that as brightly as she could. It was a mysterious feeling seeing her do the same thing as Midori from just earlier. She had been so lively just a couple hours ago, but she was becoming so distant now. They handed out the piping hot cocoa to everyone. Kanako, Kaiko, and Aki started to drink it once they made sure everyone else brought it to their lips first. The warm, sweet cocoa calmed me down and almost dissolved away my physical and mental exhaustion. Taking a break from my drink, I made sure everyone had calmed down a little and spoke to Mari. Could you come with me, Mari? Where to? I was thinking of checking Mr. Tanaka's room. Everyone looked at me in surprise. Mr. Kobayashi asked, why do you want to look around in there? Before Midori was killed, hadn't she tried to go to that room? Yeah, she did. But, just what do you... Midori must have tried to find something that would reveal the truth behind Mr. Tanaka's killer. Then because she got too close to the truth, she was killed. If that's true, I think we should thoroughly examine that room. Narrowing his eyes, Toshio interjected, and you're the one who will do that? Yeah. If you're the killer, where is your guarantee you won't destroy evidence? You don't have one? But I wasn't planning to go alone. I'd go with Mari. Where's your guarantee that your girlfriend isn't your accomplice? Then I'll go with her and someone else. No complaints there. Please pick someone, Toshio. I'm not good enough for you? He raised his eyebrow. If he was the killer, he might destroy evidence. Considering that danger, would it be better for him to pick someone else? However, refusing him here would clearly offend him. Besides, even if I did refuse to go with him, he wouldn't let me go with just Mari. It was also possible that he could pick the killer themselves with the same fear that they would destroy evidence. Entangled in my many thoughts, I said, here we go. No, I don't mind. Let's go, Toshio. Oh, man, this one is tough. I want to know if it's him. Let's go, Toshio. By no means had I completely discarded my doubts of him, but what if, as I thought, his despair from losing Midori was all a lie? It seemed that way. Nobody else in particular objected to the three of us going. Shall we go then? We finished our cocoa and stood up.